kaya naglabas kami ng ganitong kind of movie. Pero sa amin lang, parang gusto lang namin mag-educate ng mga younger artists. So, ang dami ng mga very talented na mga bago ngayon. And minsan sa kanila, okay na sa kanila na gumagawa sila ng music, nakikinig ang buong Pilipinas sa kanila. Minsan nakakalimutan na may business side. And that's where they get taken advantage of. And gusto ko lang mag-educate sa kanila na parang, gising kayo kasi tayo din yung business din tayo, hindi lang yung parang fun and games lang. Dapat alamin natin nasa kontrata, alamin natin ano nangyayari sa within internally sa label. Kaya parang parang education sa mga bagong artist. And ako, label owner din ako, gusto ko fair lahat. Gusto ko 50-50 lahat kasi the artist needs the label needs the artist then. Pero syempre, yung ibang label ngayon, mga majors, matagal na sila sa industriya and they're really able to make stars. So, may credit din sa kanila. The only thing is, kailangan maging very vigilant ang mga artists when they get into these contracts and they have to learn to really do business. Kaya, this is what the movie is really for. Yeah. Thank you.
Being an artist and being a producer, and you also handle talent, what are your usual problems that you encounter when you handle talents?
That's a good question. I'm sure Sir Audi would know a lot, but in my small experience compared to Sir Audi, a lot of these kids, they're very impatient. And sometimes they don't really, hindi nila alam yung worth na nasa harapan nila. Medyo natitake nila for granted kasi minsan binibigay lang eh. Minsan they don't work for it. They don't look for the contacts. They don't go out to bars na walang tao na kumakanta. Parang they're given shows na may tao na kaya feeling nila parang madali lang. In reality, it's really a process talaga. And you really have to appreciate yung mga opportunity mo. Kaya it's very hard to manage young artists. Very young, because I'm very, very hard. Minsan, a lot of time is being spent and a lot of teaching is being spent. Hindi mo na-realize medyo, hindi, walang nagbabago. So, for me, pag naghahanap ako ng artist, yung talaga, yung driven talaga na proactive na hindi yung naghihintay lang ng handout. I think Sir Audi should, okay, maybe not. Thank you.
Pakalanan na ba natin?
Hi, good evening po dito pa. Just like to ask, kasi we also give us yung timeline or how the film was developed. Kasi you mentioned it was, you shot in 2019. Pero when did the concept or the idea actually started? And yun nga, after ng pandemic, kailangan ba mag-reshoot or do you have to do a lot of things again just to finish the movie?
Yeah. So I think it was January 2019 that we sort of came together and we're like, yeah, this is the team that's going to make the movie. And we shot sort of late 2019, so there was a scripting process. And then we shot late 2019 into early 2020. And we had planned out a 10-day shoot. But the 10th day was supposed to be March 21, 2020. And that didn't happen. So we had 9 shooting days that were completed. And we just had one more shooting day, which was just one scene, the last scene of the movie, that we had to wait until November 2022 to actually, was it 22? Yeah, I think it was November 2022. Anyway, after the pandemic, we were only able to do that then. And then, there were so many problems because, our company wasn't doing anything during the pandemic. So, we had to let go of a lot of staff, unfortunately, and we were kind of out of business. So the hard drives were just kind of there in our office, and we really have anyone that we could take it to edit or somebody that can, convert it to DCP or anything like that. So these guys, we had to send it to them in America, like the actual physical hard drives through mail. And then they took it from there.
And also regarding, since this is also about singers, nakalatag na rin ba yung, let's say, soundtrack, and will it be also available once the movie is released?
So you can actually check out the soundtrack today. It's on Spotify. Songs for Selina. So yeah, you can actually go and check it out right now. I don't know any other details you could say about it.
Yeah, so available siya sa lahat ng platforms. Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music. It's there, Songs for Selina. You can just look it up, and lahat ng songs in the movie, it's there. And nalatag namin ni Direk yun eh. He gave me all the scenes na may music. Tapos, pinagsulat niya ako ng mga kanta for exactly the scenes that are telling the story. And by the way, Direk wrote the finale song for the movie, and I produced it. We worked together, and it's a very great combination. Sana makinig po kayo. I also wanted to add, wala pa dito si Rachel Alejandro and si Gian Magdanal, si Nyoy Volante, si Nino Alejandro. They're all part of the movie as well. And also Gab Pangilinan and Lian Momono. Yes. Gabby Padilla also, and Zara. Yeah. Dami namin dito.
Pwede rin ba makihingi ng sample ng song for the...
Pwede, from the lead stars. Oh. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh no, I don't memorize it.
Kahit ano lang, lines and like that.
Okay, and the way it reaches into me, it pulls back every memory that we shared. And now you have to watch the movie to hear it. You are out of reach, and you'll never know just how it feels. You know your wounds will never heal, and your life will never be complete. There will always be a ghost with me.
Hello po, I'm Andrea, an intern from Pop Magazine. My question naman po is, what lessons from the movie would you like to share with aspiring musicians or artists?
Lessons. There's many lessons in the movie, but I think for me, I'll speak as the main character and as a woman. Oh, yeah, it's Women's Month, right? As women, we get a lot of attention, sometimes unwanted attention, and sometimes it's hard to draw the boundary between the opposite sex in the office or like the business environment. And I think in this movie, it will show that kind of dynamic. And sana ang isang takeaway para sa lahat ng mga young women na manonood ng movie is trust in yourself and know your value and your worth. Kasi hindi porket may mga ibang mas nakakaalam or mas may experience in industry or mas matanda sa inyo na walang value yung sarili ninyong pag-iisip at sarili ninyong boses when it comes to your craft and how you want to pursue your career. That's a big lesson, take away from this movie.
Wow, a lot's been said. Very well articulated and snaps to everyone. But I guess I can only give like a personal lesson. I guess, like I mentioned before this movie, I feel like I had to do a lot of searching to find my voice as an artist. And I don't know, these guys saw something, and so many young artists kind of go into the industry and kind of just try to be the local, we want to be the local Lainey, or I want to be the Philippine Ariana Grande, but it's their own unique kind of voice that kind of really will set them apart, I think. And yeah, that's something that I don't think that a lot of artists know the value of. there's just something unique about them that needs to come out in their work, and that will set them apart. So yes, hopefully people get that lesson from this film.
Thank you so much. I mean, from a writing perspective for the film, the idea of this film is that there are two paths that are taken, one by each of the two best friends. And one of them essentially does everything that they think that everybody tells them they need to do in order to be somebody that they aspire to be. And the other one basically is forced to be themselves. And it shows how different their lives become. So I guess the real takeaway is to just be yourself, but we wanted to show the consequences of not doing that in a way that maybe other movies about the music industry haven't really touched on.
I have another question.
No problem.
Since you shot a scene in 2019 and then 3 years after, 2022, so how did you maintain that continuity since literally years have passed? How did you keep track of that?
It was very difficult. I remember that we had to search high and low for that shirt that you were wearing. We had to look through catalogs to find out, it's that one. But with great difficulty. Thankfully, we shot the movie very logistically, and so the scene that we had to shoot much later actually does take place much later. No, spoiler alert. So thankfully, it kind of worked out in that way.
We also shot the photos for the movie poster last year. And just to show you kung gano talaga ka sariling sikap itong independent film namin. Nasa Australia si Rachel. Ako nasa Los Angeles. Nag-FaceTime kami para mag-book ng photoshoot sa Australia kung saan man siya. And we had to do everything online. Thankfully, natuto na tayo from COVID kung paano gawin yon. So it was really hard to look the same as our characters, pero sa awa ng Diyos, nagawa naman namin. It was a process talaga.
And I also wanted to ask, was the story always going to be about two women? Or at certain point, was it a guy and a girl or a guy and a guy?
So the way the story basically happened is that we sat down with our initial meeting with the four of us there. And literally just Jared and Nika just told me stories. Multiple unrelated stories about them and their friends in the industry. And of course we didn't want to use any real names. So we all agreed that we would do it with fictional characters. And we would just put them in the same situations that other people had truly been in. And I went home and I wrote a very, very quick first draft of the script. And I presented it to these guys maybe a week or so later, and they were like, yeah, let's make it, basically. So it was always, just the two girls. That was my initial, because most of the stories, were about women in the industry. So I made the decision to make it two best friends who... Can we touch on that? Yeah, so another thing that we sort of wanted to push with this movie is that not everybody really sees, because we're very accepting in general industry, some of the struggles that aren't really said about the LGBTQ community in the music industry. Because a lot of people might see it on the surface level and be like, yeah, very, very supportive the music industry and the arts in general in this country, but there are some struggles that perhaps aren't talked about all that much, especially from, for example, a marketing perspective. So those were things that we wanted to touch on as well in the movie.
Hi guys, for JR and Nika, because it's been almost 2 decades since you started Homeworks, right? So you've been producing for this long, but it's the first time you're doing a movie. So being together professionally and personally, what new side of yourselves have you discovered as movie producers and co-workers, I guess?
I think it was a very good tandem na naging producer kami ni Mika on the same project. We worked very well together, and I think that's why we work together well together as a couple also. We understand each other, hindi kami nag-aaway. Kung nag-aaway man kami, may understanding na mag-uusap kami and ayusin namin. And from there, pag inayos namin, mas naging mature kami and we're able to work even better. So, I think it was a very good tandem and we were very efficient na kaming dalawa sa US lang kasi kami lang gumagalaw doon. Siyempre lahat sila nandito eh. So, we're kind of taking the reins there sa US and I think we did a pretty good job, no? What do you think?
Marami kaming natutunan about each other. So yung mga personality namin, we're very compatible pero may sarili kaming strengths and weaknesses. So parang nagmamatch lang kami kung paano namin ita-tackle yung mga challenges. For example, JR is very good. He's very charismatic. Diba? King of R&B. So when it comes to dealing with people, face to face and having these big meetings with producers and distributors, si JR yung parang pinapasa ko sa kanya, you're the face, you have this charisma about you. When it comes to all the admin, emailing, like details and all of the behind the scenes stuff, nalaman ko din na magaling pala ako sa ganun. So siguro nagamit ko din yung pinag-aralan ko sa college by doing this movie. Hindi ko alam kung kailan ko magagamit yung degree ko from NYU. So I think hindi rin nasayang yung pinag-aralan ko. And we just put the goal in mind was the same from the very beginning. And yung passion namin para makamit yung goals namin for this film really stemmed from the whole team. Kasi we did not want to let our team down. We did not want to let our producers and our investors and also the cast down. Because we really believe in this project. So dahil doon, we had the same goals and we just made sure to make it happen. And it was fun. It was hard, but it was fun.
Thank you. My second question is for Rachel. So, what was your first reaction when they approached you for the role, and then how did you build the chemistry with Nika? Like, did you guys know each other before this? Like, what did you know of JR and Nika closely?
We met at the audition, but well, first of all, it was so funny because there were like 4 actresses there. And we were all in the exact same outfit. I remember this. I don't know, I wish I could send a picture, but we were all in a black top, jeans, and black Converses. And I was like, oh, so nice. Like, there's like what's it called? An image we have in our mind. But yeah, I guess the moment that we entered like the screen test, it was kind of instant. You know, Amika's a really open person. And I feel like our differences and how we contrast really kind of helped us fit in together like jigsaw pieces. And it only solidified when I heard the first render of our voices together. I was like, wait a second, this sounds really good. I have a really low, gravelly register, and then Nika has a really strong alto soprano. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And yeah, I think that really lends to, you know, us blending together as characters and us blending together with the music. And yeah, she's awesome. We would play with her cat on set. It's the best.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Follow up. Based on your experience producing the film, do you plan of producing another one? Or is it in the works?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, as you just saw from JR, he nodded yes. I think this film for me it's very it means a lot because my vision as an actor here, I've spent my whole life. I grew up here in the Philippines, really going through the stages of pushing my craft in the theater industry. I've been in the theater industry since I was 36 now. I hate to reveal my age, but I've been in the industry since I was 18. So if there's one thing I know on a global stage, there's nobody I believe we're more talented than Filipinos. I think we have some of the best actors and actresses right here at home. I've always been an advocate for Filipino talent and wanting to see that abroad. Even if you look at the West End, if you look at Broadway, you'll see so many of our theater actors there thriving. You'll see Waki Valdez, you'll see Kiara Dario, you'll see Red Concepcion, Lea Salonga. The list goes on and on about what Filipino talents are doing abroad. Which is why it was so important for me to actually really look at theater actors for this project, to really showcase to the world what Filipino talent has to offer. Now, we did this, again, we discussed the movie the beginning of January 2019, and with a small team, a small passionate team, all local, all Filipino, we were able to make a movie that we shot in 10 days, plus one a few months later, that was able to get picked up in international streaming services. So that just showcases to you what that means. Now imagine with barely anything to work with 10 days to shoot, and with just local grit and talent, we were able to make a movie like that. Imagine what we could do with time, money, and investment. So I think that's always something we've discussed, that if this can do well, we want to keep supporting the Filipino industry and the way it ties into Nika and JR's life as they've navigated so beautifully America as well. The shared goal of bringing Filipino talent to a world stage. So yeah, we do plan to, if this works out, I mean, I do think it really is showing a good story, and I hope all the Filipinos come to support it in our theaters, because our local support is so important. But the goal is always going to be for all of us to showcase our talent to the world, and that's something we plan to do.
I've learned that you were in talks with ABS before, and then pandemic happened, and now that you're into like streaming, in your next project, will you go directly to streaming or do the cinema?
It depends really, case to case, because a lot of distributors, they're looking for other genres. It depends on the actor that's there. So it really depends on what kind of budget that we can conjure up. Because, I mean, as you can see, with a small budget, we can really make a good movie. And if we can get more budget and we can get Brad Pitt, we're good. And then there's Piolo, if we can get Piolo, we can get a lot of traction there and continue making Filipino movies. Thank you.
Hi, Ronnie Vivar from Viajero, formerly a Song Magazine editor. My question is this: what are your core expectations in the making of this movie? In short, what do you want to say to your audiences and music industry as well? Anybody can answer.
Across the whole table.
Kumbaga ano na yung realidad lang talaga ng music, yung mga nangyayari lang talaga. Sabihin yung pagiging ni Selina at saka ni Rachel dun sa struggling nila, dun nila makikita yung proseso dun sa pelikula. And at the same time talaga magiging inspirasyon to dun sa mga bagong artists, sa mga artists na rin at the same time. Kumbaga, kung ano yung nandun sa eksena, siguradong mararamdaman nila.
Not so much about the story, but I'm so excited kasi kahit nangyari yung pandemic, may mga evolution na nangyari, right? Just the opening of many platforms that weren't available before the pandemic, right? I mean, now people can go straight into the platforms, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, and in the same way, producers now can make films and put it out there and not have to go to the normal channels, yung mga malalaking channels at networks dati. Na umaasa lang, ako bilang manager, ganun din kami dati, kailangan ilalako mo pa yung talent mo. Maaring kunin ng network, maaring hindi kunin ng network, nakaka-frustrate. Pero sa mga pangyayari during the pandemic where all these platforms started to open up, now there's like a direct channel where artists can go and put out their works. They just have to have the grit like these young people have and resolve to create something beautiful and put it out there. And they don't have to go to the normal channels to do it anymore. So I'm so excited that this film is gonna get out there without having to go to, walang paspas necessarily ng mga malalaking networks or movie outfits. It's an exciting time. And ngayon na pumapasok tayo sa digital, pati kami ngayon, JR, like as a manager now, we're going into the platforms, the digital platforms. We're creating new shows now. Hindi na kailangan, like for example, an ASAP, right, or an All Out Sunday is so packed with talents. They give you like 2 lines to sing your song now. There's just no time because but we can create our own platforms, we can create our own shows, put it out there. So it's a new era. This is an exciting period for artists because it's empowering. And I just pray that media will support them. I think you're going to come up with more stuff for sure. Music, film, because this is the era for it. This is the era for it.
How do I follow that? No, I guess maybe on an industry level, what I want people to take from the film is that if you have an idea, there are ways to get it done. Nika and JR in particular, they're really they're masters of the business, I think, as well, behind the scenes. Not only are they great on the screen, but they're out here doing all of the content behind it, and I'm honestly in awe at how much they're able to, and the quality is awesome as well. So I guess the grit that if you have an idea, it can come to life on such a giant, not only world stage, but also in our local cinemas, which is awesome. And I just want a Maya or a Selina to see themselves somewhere on that screen, and to be able to realize they have the power to shape their own stories in those ways. So, yes.
For me, just for the audience to enjoy this movie also, because we tackle a lot of dark themes, but at the end of the day, this movie is entertaining. There's some funny moments, the music is great. So I hope na maka-inspire kami ng maraming Pilipino to think outside of the box, na think of, even if, they're an aspiring writer or musician or producer or something like this, na pwede silang gumawa ng pelikula na hindi love triangle lang. Pwede silang gumawa ng pelikula tungkol sa mga history ng Philippines or something like this. Na lumawak pa yung pag-iisip natin as a Filipino, as a people, because we are some of the richest people in the world when it comes to our culture, when it comes to our stories. So sana, yun nga, ma-inspire yung mga manonood na mag-isip ng ganon.
I just wanted to build on what George was saying earlier about, and by the way, sorry, my Tagalog is also really not good, but I am Filipino. I don't look it, I don't sound it, but I'm Filipino. I just spent a lot of time in the UK. But I am Filipino, I'm very proud of the Philippines. And it's easy to see, if you're in the industry, that most of the entertainment industry of the world is run by Filipinos, on the backs of Filipinos. Maybe not run, maybe not controlled, but is made on the backs of Filipinos. You look at all the casts of Broadway, all the casts on the West End, there's usually a Filipino in there. You can't really say that about that many nationalities. Same with every animation studio in America and UK. There's always Filipinos. Video game studios, there's always Filipinos. The number one export of the Philippines is talent. And I just want to sort of build towards a future in filmmaking where instead of spending dollars and euros to make pesos by filming films abroad and then selling them here, this is one of those movies where we spent pesos and we made dollars. So, we wanted, to make a movie with an indie budget, and we did. And we wanted it to sort of have the look and the value of something that was maybe 15, 20 times the budget. And that's, I think, no matter how this film does, and I hope it does well, because it deserves to. But no matter how this film does, we've already cracked that, and that's very important, and I'm very proud of that. So.
If I could just before I pass it to JR, our captain, I just wanted to say that this was a point I forgot to mention earlier, but the whole point of this movie is about shedding a light on some of the darker things that happen in this industry. And that's a story that translates not just to the music industry, but the film industry as well. Throughout our years, there have been many cases of people fainting, overworking. Sometimes it gets a little deeper and darker than that. One of the goals we all discussed coming into this film was that we wanted this movie, from the production level, from the hours that we put in for the crew and the actors, the time that the crew and the actors are paid, everything was to SAG standard in the States. Because we wanted to showcase that even with a small team that's passionate, we can come together and make a movie and do it by the standards that the United States and the UK live by. And we were able to shoot this movie on average using SAG hours for both our actors and our crew. We were able to shoot this movie paying every single member of our staff, crew, and our actors on time. We wanted to make this as a love letter to the industry, to our actors, to our crew, to the staff, the directors, and showcasing that we don't have to, if we all come together and are organized and we all just want to come and create, we can make a healthy workspace. And I think that this movie really was a healthy workspace that was our love letter, not just to the music industry, the film industry as well. I've been blessed enough. Dean has been one of my is my best friend. He's been my best friend for a long time. I've known his family. His father is known as Matthew Rosen right there. He is a legend in the industry. He is the godfather of everything that looks beautiful about cinematography here today. And I think having worked with them before on an international TV show and also in Quezon's Game, this part of me being a producer has always been to showcase to the world what the Rosens can do, and especially in collaboration with two of the most talented people I know, JR and Nika, and of course the lovely cast that we have here. So I think that's just the main thing I wanted to say, that this movie, we didn't just talk the talk, we walked the walk. Our whole process was protective of our cast, actors, and the environment that we created for the film. So I hope that when local Filipinos see this movie, they understand that we looked out for our own and we protected our own. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah. So nasabi na lahat. So bottom line, we just really want to set a new standard. More favoring the artists, helping out the artists and educating them. Yeah. Thank you.